when we want to.
We can just kind of 1, 2, skiddly do this thing.
Let's just skiddly do.
So I think we're live. We're live with the Brawl and the BitB13 wrap-up show. The whole crew's here. Ryan Middleton, Jim Mooney. What's up, ladies and gentlemen?
You should try to do the buffer. We are live.
That would be embarrassing.
Yeah.
I would pull up when Flannery got his knockout and Ryan Kavanaugh blew out his voice. That would be me trying to do buffer.
Dude, oh man. This is the Brawl and the BitB13 wrap-up show. We're going to do this, guys. Every show, we're going to do a wrap-up show. Talk about the night's events. Talk about the event. What?
Yeah, like the Monday morning quarterback.
Yeah,
exactly.
Except it's going to be like Monday evening reflections.
That doesn't sound nearly as good.
Yeah.
We'll work on that.
Yeah, let's work on it.
Yeah. Leave us some suggestions for what we should call this show.
Yes, the Burgh rap, the Brawl wrap up, the rapping Brawl.
Save him,
Jim.
Jim.
Please, when we brawl.
Jim, save him. Get him out of this.
There's no saying that.
But it was a good show. I mean, the show was incredible. We appreciate, obviously, everybody that came out, all the fighters, all the fans. We say it all the time after shows, but that post-show buzz is real. Like, all day Sunday, you're still feeling really good, still kind of reliving everything that went down. And even today, Monday, I've been thinking about the event all day. Obviously, little tweaks, little things we can do differently and better are on my mind. And also, I like celebrating the things we did do really well. And those were some killer fights, especially that pro portion of the card was as good as it gets for us, I think, at least since I've been involved. Those 3 fights were all amazing.
Bangers, man. They all brought it. Mm-hmm. It was phenomenal. I got to tell you, I mean, honestly, this was a tough card for me because I've been in so much physical pain the past couple weeks that I was not feeling great on Saturday night. I just wasn't physically. That's taking its toll. I'm finally have an appointment with an ortho on Thursday.
Nice.
So I mean, I was not feeling great. I tried to put on the best smile I could but I have not been feeling great. And there's a lot of walking around that goes, even when I'm trying not to, there's still a lot of walking around that goes on. And my knee is just bad.
Yeah, Ryan's knee was jacked all week here at the studio recording the podcast. He texted me one time. I was like, bro, I can't walk. My knee just gave out. I need to go to the doctor. I was like, well, go to the doctor. He's like, we got an event Saturday. I can't go to the doctor yet. I'm like, well, wear a brace. He's like, I don't want to wear a brace at the event. So,
yeah,
here we are.
The brace helps, though, because I've been down that road before. And you feel like a sissy when you got it on. And do people see me limping? And
I wouldn't have been able to have the knee jacked up wrestling match in the back with Edwin Vera though. If I'd have been all braced up and stuff, it would have been unfair.
That was a great fight.
Was that on paper? I don't recall.
Oh, you weren't
that.
there for
No.
that. Yeah, me and Edwin were kind of you know how we play around. And then we were just playing around and then I think it was you, Hunter, that go, what is this, the cripple, the knee cripples fighting championships.
So speaking of Edwin, was bouncing around a little bit and talking to us, and he gave me an update for when he's coming back into the cage. It's not going to be until, sometime in January is when he's going to be ready. But thinking about his style, we had somebody on the card Saturday night that is like the younger, newer version of Edwin and a brawler, and he set a record.
Fastest
knockout.
Talking about Colton Musgrave.
No.
Oh yeah,
Joe LaRocca.
Joe LaRocca.
Oh man, Joe LaRocca.
Hunter and I literally today have had plenty of Joe LaRocca conversations. The most lovable human being on the face of the planet. I don't think, no one knew him, and the whole crowd was loving him. It was, and so little known fact. What did you figure out today, Hunter? What about his walkout?
I learned so. Oh, he was wearing a Golden Girls shirt to the cage, which I did not see in real time. I did, but in the photos, Paul Luke posted some photos. He's wearing a freaking Golden Girl. It says "Stay Golden" with the golden
And
girls
with the
on
golden girls on it. Dude, he is a savage.
it. Yeah, he's ridiculous. And also, shout out Paul Luke a second time. He took the best picture of a mullet in existence. Like that picture of LaRocca winging a punch with his mullet blowing in the air is literally the best, like in human history, the best capture of a mullet ever.
Yeah. Jim, you need to start paying attention, bro.
So he's like, when I think of Joe, if you just try to picture in your mind the classic boxer photo from like the early 20th century, like 1910, 1920, exactly.
Like,
but bald heads, got the
curly
the
mustache.
handlebar mustache.
Who's
and
the
that's
guy
Joe.
from Cleveland that was in the
John Gunther.
Oh, Gunther, yeah. Jim, I think if you want to have your mic more pointed, like
There you go.
yeah,
should be
like
good.
that,
Like that, yeah.
Oh, that does sound better.
Yeah.
Now you get Jim Mooney and crystal clear HD audio.
crystal clear.
But yeah, LaRocca, I mean, so his debut, he has like a fight of the night against Elijah Davis in Johnstown. That was probably the fight of the night on that card.
Those two, he would get picked up and slammed and smiling the whole
Smiling
time.
the entire time. Now he gets a 9-second knockout victory. Like, this dude's amazing. I don't know what to make of him. I truly don't. I know I want to see him fight again, though.
I know. I'm so intrigued by him.
Truly.
I mean, he's just a very unique person. I don't know. He's intriguing.
Yeah.
Well, let's start at the top of the card. Let's start with the pro fights so we can spend some time talking about them. Huge title defense by the Wolverine, Ethan Goss. You know, I mean, I always say, like, it's one thing to go and hunt, but it's another thing to be the hunted, and that's tough. Like when you're the Patriots and everyone's game that they target at the beginning of the season against you, that's tough, and that's why they were so legendary, because they were always the hunted and they just thrived. When you're champion of 247, it means something, and he's now the hunted, and it's a lot tougher being the hunted than being the hunter, and he's thriving.
Yeah, I think that point is very apparent. And I'll take it the whole way back to weigh-ins. Tobiaus Taylor initially weighed in at something like, let's say 145.8, less than a pound over, but enough over to where he wouldn't have qualified for a title fight. And, you know, if that's not a title fight, we've seen it enough times where guys are already depleted. It's 0.8 pounds. The other guy agrees to fight him. He just says, all right, we're good. Like, I'll take the small fine, move on with our lives. But Tobias literally goes, like, looks at us and says, I want that belt. Puts on his sweatsuit and goes and burns off that 0.8. Like, he wanted that belt. He wanted that title shot, man. Like you say, Ethan was the hunted. It couldn't be more true. Like, Tobias was hunting him. He was not leaving that place without his title shot. And to his credit, that third round, man, he absolutely was landing bombs on Ethan. And Ethan's chin is incredible. Like, I was really surprised that he didn't even appear to get hurt. He just transitioned right into his wrestling, got the takedown, and basically ran out the fight there on top. But, man, like, go watch that replay. He ate him.
I will still say that he was only one more time getting touched before it, like, but he'll tell you, like, I was fully with it, like I was aware. Like,
That was fight IQ right there. That was fight IQ.
Oh, absolutely. That was super. I mean, he got himself into trouble, and he found a way to, like, and you know, that's a different Ethan Goss. You know, Ethan, when he's on, I've said this for a long time, when Ethan's at his best, and it's a confidence thing, when he feels confident about himself, about like a matchup, about like, it's a different animal. When Ethan starts to question, you know, am I good enough for this? Like, am I, like, that's when he becomes like the fighter who has struggled at times. And Ethan's been on fire and then cooled off, been on fire his whole career. Now he's on fire and he's staying on fire, and that's good to see. That maturity, that like cage awareness, that like talking about, like, a lot of people, yeah, and that when you're an amateur, you have 3 2-minute rounds. you don't have to be as conditioned as you have to be when you're fighting for 15 minutes. You're fighting for almost 3 times as long.
Right.
So to take breaks, he knows when to, like, he's gotten so much better at all those aspects of his game. I think he's in full stride. Things are looking good for him.
Well, so what Taylor came in 5 out of 7 wins, 2-fight win streak, and the 2 losses in that 7-fight span. 2 losses were against killers. I think Jarrell Hodge and
was Isaiah Chapman the other one?
Yeah.
R.I.P. to him. That's a life gone way too soon. Yep. But an amazing fighter, as is Hodge. Of course, everybody in this area at least knows Jarrell Hodge as being the best of the best. And yeah, I mean, those losses, and you saw it against Ethan. Like, we know what Ethan's about. We know how good he's been, especially lately, and how good he is. And Tobias was absolutely in there, mixing it up in that fight. It wasn't a blowout by any means. It was a very close fight. And to your credit, Jim, that entire card was incredibly close. There were a lot of decisions, a lot of very close decisions, a lot of hometown guys getting upset. I think the blue corner won 7 out of 11 fights, we said. So just really evenly matched stuff. So kudos to you on that one. And I will direct it to the co-main event being a perfect example of this. You know, Justin Patton and Rico Tally, that is a tough fight for Justin Patton. And we knew that going in. Like,
yeah, and it was, full disclosure, it was a fight that I was like, whoa, guys, like, this is a really tough fight. Like, and, those are the ones that make the most impact, man. Like, Justin Patton had his signature win. Yeah. Like, there's no question in my mind that's kind of the game changer. That's the confidence builder. That's the booster. That's the like Jake Lowry had that type of win where, when you're in deep waters, you can still find a way out. You're not giving up. You're not like that. Doubt enters the mind of everyone. You doubt yourself about everything. When you overcome that and you say, wow, I got past this. And then you were mentioning earlier, Hunter, between us, that there was just a different fire with him after that first round.
Truly was. I mean, that's always been the thing with Patton, at least, since I've been involved with the promotion and seeing his fights up close, is there's that moment where he gets in trouble early and just can't overcome it. Like his pro debut gets submitted very early. Devin Lozay takes his back, chokes him out, kind of just wears him down, chokes him out. When Patton survived Rico's back take, he just opened up immediately after that. And you could see it as the fight goes, the swag, like go rewatch the fight and just watch Patton's body language. He literally gets stronger as that fight goes, and you can literally physically see the changes in him, and that confidence just keep growing and growing. Because Rico Tally, and we talked about it a lot, Jim, and I know Ryan, we all three talked about it a lot. Rico's specialty is taking your back and choking you out. Like, that's where he wants to get, and he got that position against Justin, and Justin knew that going in, and it happened, and he shut it down. I mean, that's all the confidence in the world. That's like going to the ground with Damian Maia and surviving and getting back to your feet. Like, if you could do that, you're like, man, I got this fight in the bag now.
And this is a guy in Rico Tally, this is a guy that has been big time. People have noticed this guy. Like, right. So he applied for a scholarship to Rufus Sport, and he was selected. Like, this is the kid with the talent. We want to bring him up here and offer him training. So, it's such a big fight. It's such a big win and a landmark win for Justin. I think, Justin has the ability to kind of write his own story from here. Like, the sky's the limit. This is a kid who, had a couple year layoff, kept having injuries, kept having setbacks, setback after setback, losing a toe. Like, you name it, Justin went through it. And then he made his pro debut, and he always stayed on that losing side, like 0-1, 1-1, 0-2, 1-2. Like, and now he's on that winning track, and he's putting all those pieces together. There's no one that wants it more. There's no one that trains harder. There's no one that is more determined and like just focused on, I want to take this thing as far as I can. it's just nice to see him progressing along that path.
Yeah, and honestly, what's going to be even more interesting in the future is that now you beat somebody like Rico Tally, you can't take a step back from there. Like the next guy's going to be even tougher. Like Justin is now in that realm of fighting extremely tough elite guys. That's all there is to it. You beat a guy like Tally, you can't go back from there, you know?
Absolutely.
He Justin said at weigh-ins after they were done and did the photo shoot that that we were going to see. He said he had another level to show, and he couldn't wait to for Saturday night to come. So we saw that,
and that's the cool thing is like he didn't know at the time when he said that what exactly that meant. He just felt something, but to me that meant like. With the ability of hindsight now and knowing he said that he was going to overcome, like him overcoming someone else's greatest strength is what, I don't know. It's special for him. And so I called him at like 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock at night. I was driving home and I just say, man, I just want to congratulate you. Like, dude, that was a really, really like tough fight against an absolute animal, and you proved to yourself to like just blew my mind. I was really impressed by it.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing for him is proven to himself.
Right.
The thing that I noticed most about that fight, and I forget who I was talking to about this. Maybe it was Luke Payson. After the fights were over, and I told him. And Luke said that it was like they mentioned it on the pay-per-view that there was an adjustment made, and you could tell that Patton was picking up on. I don't know if it was tells that was coming from Rico, but once he was able to fight him off his back, they got back to their feet. It started to come a little more in the second round, but Patton was able to tell whenever Tally was going to come in for the shot, and he started stuffing it, and that's when they were, he had his back on the cage. Tally was sort of muscling him there, and then there was one time where he reversed it, and right from
got
that,
those underhooks.
Yeah, and he took over from there.
Yeah, I mean, it was really, really super impressive, and I still think he's one of those guys that I'd like to see him be able to stuff takedowns early and really thwart that attack. Because I mean, if he keeps the fight standing, I think most people are going to be in trouble against him. And so, keeping those hips back and anticipating that he did it well later on in the fight. But he still got taken down, and he didn't look like he reacted quick enough. And there's always areas for improvement. And I think that these guys, especially, I mean, I still think of Justin as very young. He's 28, but he picks up on things so quick. He's still a young fighter to me because of all the time he had off, with his injuries and whatnot.
Sure. Yeah, he had a run of rough luck like few others, for sure. So to see him doing what he's doing is great. And to transition to that third pro fight, it's kind of a good segue because you say Justin's still 28. Jake Schilling been fighting since he was 18 years old, and he's still 28. He feels like a guy to me that's older than that, not because he looks physically older or performs like he's older, but he's just been around for so long that it's hard to believe that he's only 28 still. So that's a guy who could still be, finding the prime of his fighting career. But Brett Pastore wasn't interested in that narrative too much Saturday night. That guy was a freaking animal. And I told him and his coaches after the fight, like, it was an honor to have you in our cage. Like, there's no doubt in my mind you're going places. Like, you can just tell when a guy has it.
Yeah.
That kind of top control, his grappling in that fight was some of the best I've seen in our cage. And Lou Armazzani, Jake's grappling coach after the fight, was telling me too. He was like, dude, what Brett just did was so impressive. He's like, you do not see grappling like that on the regional level. So Lou was very impressed, and that's enough to convince me that what I saw was true too, man. It was a different level. My friends Tony and his son Colin from Cincinnati shout out, guys. Thank you again for coming. They always support the cause and show up and have fun. At weigh-ins, they were like, man, he looks like Khabib. He had that little, like Dagestani beard and everything. And then it turns out he fights like Khabib too.
He grappled like him
yeah.
too.
So that was kind of funny. So yeah, Pastore is kind of the regional MMA Khabib right now, I guess you could say. Certainly showed it on Saturday.
Yeah, I was very impressed with Pastore, and overall, those are two young guys. I mean, they're 27, 28 years old. I think they both have a great future. I would like to see Jake. He says he wants to, go to 145. I just don't know what the right solution is for him. I think he when he is on, like, one of the baddest dudes you'll ever see, and when he's not, he's very, very beatable. Like, not, but I just didn't see the same Jake Schilling. Just his demeanor, he didn't look the same to me as he has when he's looked his best. And I noticed, two different fighters at times.
Sure.
Well, yeah. The one thing I noticed for him that night, for Saturday night, was he, like, in the beginning of the fight, first round, he looked strong on his feet. And if it was going to be a striking contest, that was going to go to Schilling. I don't know what that outcome would have been, whether it was a finish or just on points, going to the judges, if it would have stayed that way. But I don't know where he wants to build his resume. 145, 155. I think he's probably better suited at 145. And we've got...
He's so big for that
weight. Yeah, he is, but...
He's got too much... But he's a bulky guy. Like, he's not big, like... He's muscular, and, like, I don't know if he can lose that much.
Yeah, so he's in a situation maybe like Patton is coming out of, where he was fighting at 135 and having a hard time getting there. And so he did the two catch weights at 140, and now going forward, it's 145 all the way for Patton. And maybe, Jake is the same way, where he was, wanting to fight at 145. Maybe 155 is, where he's supposed to be. I don't know. His next fight, he said he's locked in for 145. We'll see what happens, if that's us or some other promotion. But he said that's where he wants to make his name.
Yeah, I agree. Pastore.
Pastore.
Yep.
Yep.
Get it right now, because that's a name that a lot of people are going to become familiar with.
He is real good.
Yeah.
Like, he's the real deal. Like, I didn't see the holes, everyone has weaknesses. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Everyone could lose. You can find a way to beat. Like, these guys are all skilled enough that if they find the right, the right recipe, they're gonna be able to pull out a win. But I mean, he looked really good.
Yeah, and on the opposite end of the weight scale, correct me if I'm wrong, Jim, but Pastore fought at 170 as an amateur, didn't he?
He
primarily.
did, yeah.
So you're talking, if Jake wants to be a 145, Pastore's coming down from 170. Like, that probably did play a part in how dominant his grappling was in that fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we tried to bring Brett in a couple of times at 170 for amateur bouts. As a matter of fact, I know that we did, and I know
I think we at one time there was talk with him fighting Chase Boyd. Right?
Yeah.
That'd be a heck of a grappling matchup, man. That would be fun.
Yeah, so Brett he's going for a world title for combat sambo, and I think if he gets it, he will be the only American to ever win it, and it would be a big deal because sambo is it's kind of like BJJ is a culture thing in South America, and all those Stan countries, Dagestan, Waziristan, and
someone was just saying that. It's like, oh, it's one. I think it was Luke. Luke was Yeah, it's one of those stands.
One of those
Right.
stands.
But that's
Goodness.
their thing, and they take it's there's a ton of pride in it for
Sure.
them. They want to, be known as the country that controls this. This is their game, and you're not going to beat them at it. And he's going over there, and he wants to prove to them that it's
He wants to beat them at it.
yeah.
There you go.
Beat them at their game.
And that's what, when you beat someone at their own game, that's
huge. Maybe that's why he looks like Khabib so much. You
Could be.
do Sambo long enough, you just start to look like that. Like he's just morphing into
just
a
become-
Dagestani.
yeah.
His facial hair is just growing out like that.
Yeah, right.
And so one of the cool parts of the night to transition was one of the coolest parts of the night, in my opinion. The absolute coolest part of the night was seeing Dempsey present Isaac with the that Hall of Fame plaque and be inducted, and really special. I mean, I don't know if you guys knew this, but Isaac, did you notice he was wearing a black sport coat? It had 247 Fighting Championships Hall of Fame induction on it.
What?
Someone got him that coat.
What?
So
Oh, man.
I think we have to get that person's number and name and address and contact details.
Yeah.
Because I think that set the tone. I
Dude,
think we
that's
do a
so
black Hall of Fame jacket.
For sure. That is sick.
So yeah, it was pretty special moment, pretty cool. I mean, getting Chris Dempsey to speak publicly is an accomplishment in and of itself. When we were doing MMA Fancast back in the day, and we were trying to get interviews, do you remember being up
don't
at
think we
Gorilla
ever had
House?
him on,
Oh
yeah.
we went to Gorilla House,
Right, and they were there.
and we asked Dempsey for an interview. You could tell he did not. We should pull that out like that. I have that, but we kind of, it was before the Bellator State College show. I think it was 183 or something like that. And he did give us the interview, but he's not real fond of speaking publicly. But the crazy thing is he's a really funny, good sense of humor guy.
Definitely.
Which normally those two
Go.
but he's not.
Yeah,
He
you'd never
did
know.
well though.
I thought so too.
Yeah, he
did
It was
very
great.
well.
You'd never know it by looking at him, but he's really smart.
Well, I didn't. He's funny.
Who
I
are
don't
you
know.
talking about?
And literally anybody in this room or Dempsey. But no, he joked about that to me afterwards. He's like, I am college educated. I don't look like it, but I am.
scholarship.
Yeah,
Come on,
right.
that's not real.
Yeah.
You have a degree in wrestling.
He does have a degree in
baking.
wrestling for sure.
He has a degree in grappling in general. That dude's
Buff. He's a monster.
He is.
I mean, yeah, he's so good at grappling, and I'm looking forward to how his grappling career pans out as well.
See, I'm so confused with grappling just because I don't know. There's just not there's so many different I don't know what's the biggest or where's what means the most when
Right.
it's you're the gold wit. There's
Yeah,
seems
yeah.
like there's so many different levels of it.
Yeah.
It just
like Worlds
crazy.
or ADCC or who's
Yeah.
number one? Which one's the best right now? I
Gordon
don't-
Ryan. Okay,
Gordon Ryan
let's
is the
leave
best.
him
We
out
know
of
that.
this.
Yeah.
And what's all the rest?
It doesn't matter at
We
that
should
point.
bring him on to find out.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
come
Hey,
on.
Gordon, come on our podcast. Fly out to Pittsburgh
He's on first name basis with
so
him.
that tens of people can watch you talk, please. I know you were just on Joe Rogan, but we're cool too.
So the tens of people. Hey, listen, we got the new studio. We're on the way up. Come on, let's be
In the
honest.
20s
here.
now. Last
Yeah,
I checked.
we might be in the 20s now. Moving on up.
Whatever, guys. Come on, we have fun. That's what's important.
Let's move on up the fight card and talk about. I want each of you to pick your favorite amateur fight of the card.
Oh, mine's easy.
All right, go ahead. You can go first then.
I liked McCaffrey and Davis.
Nice.
I
Yeah.
thought that those two, those two showed what that two, like fighters with one fight experience can be very high level.
Yeah. Right.
And if you put that fight on, like you have someone watching that fight, their question will be like, is this pro? Is this like, they did not look like guys with one previous fight. So I thought they both showed a lot of heart. I thought McCaffrey, he's a complete package, man. That kid's really good. He is. He has a lot of talent. I think Elijah, as always, has a super amount of talent. His wrestling's very tough. His grappling's very solid. He has some work to do on the feet, like most wrestlers do. And I think these are the types of fights that like help you get to where you want to go. So I think that, and he's a super humble guy. He was very thankful afterwards, like talking to me, and like I just thought those two went out there and like really put on a clinic. Like these are very high level novice amateurs.
Totally agree. Like if that was at advanced amateur, you would have never thought twice about it. You would have said, yeah, these are definitely advanced amateur. Like you said, even pro, like honestly, some low level pro fights.
Some beginner pro fights.
That might be better than some pro fights I've seen, to be
other
totally
than the
honest.
rule set.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, McCaffrey's a beast, man, and I'll tell you what, he plays a good role too. He's very like confident walking out to the cage, like bordering on kind of that Conor McGregor arrogance level. Like I had several people at the fights, my friends and stuff, after the fights, like, man, that McCaffrey guy annoyed me. Like he did a good job of making them care about. He had that persona, which is great. I love stuff like that, of course. And so he's like on his way of developing a brand while also being a very good fighter. That's a really good recipe for success.
Fighters, like I'm just going to tell you this right now. Have people care about you.
Yes.
It doesn't matter if they don't like you. Not liking you is caring. Not caring is the worst. We all want to be liked. That's like period, point blank. But when someone cares about you over indifference, like I'll take that any day. So if you ever have the chance to be the villain, play the villain role like you need to play it, like Tobias Taylor played it.
That was awesome.
Purposely walked in to Pittsburgh in a Cleveland Browns jersey. Now, it just so happens that this is an off year for football, so not many people really cared. But and it wasn't a super identify. It was a white jersey with some brown letters. Like if it was a Cleveland Browns home jersey, then that might have been more effective.
With Ryan Shazier sitting cage side, by the way.
Was he there then, though? I think it.
I don't know. I'm going to pretend he was.
Well, let's pretend he. Oh no, that was I'm thinking, but I think he was there. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, having Ryan Shazier there was super cool. I didn't get a chance to talk to him, but we took advantage of the situation. We got the camera shot and the shout out.
I'll be honest, I asked beforehand if he would mind if we did that. Like the last thing I wanted was for like everybody to go mob him for an autograph or something if we did that, but we asked, he was cool with it, so that's good.
So here's my question now. It seems like it happens a lot, like way more often than it seems like it should. But like Ryan Shazier, when he got on camera, he's like talking and having a conversation. Like he has no idea the camera's there. And then he turns and he's like, oh, like, hi. Did he know the camera was there? Like that happens all the time. They're like, blah, 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 blah. Oh, like.
I don't know. It could be good acting, but he was talking to Dalton Rasta, and I'll tell you from experience, as Dalton was just in this podcast room, Dalton can talk. Like there is a good chance Ryan was sucked in to a deep conversation with Dalton there. So I'll say, I don't know. Maybe.
And Dalton's one of the most intense guys you'll ever meet. Like that dude's he's
dialed in.
He's ready to like, and he's passionate about like what he's talking about. So
yeah. Absolutely true.
What's up? What's up? What's up?
So for me, there were two fights that I really enjoyed.
That's his like call.
It was. That's going back to MMA Fancast, And when we started it, now Luke Payson owns it, and he has totally changed the format.
Oh, yeah, it's
everything's
totally
YouTube,
different.
and
But-
quick clips
and it's strictly an interview format now.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas we were like, I don't know.
educational,
Well,
informational.
it's interview like the person. I'm making a Luke joke. Never mind. I'll make it to him in front of him.
They'll
Nice.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Well, he would appreciate it here, but
Sure.
the tens of others that are listening probably wouldn't understand it. So yeah, I that fight that you had picked out, and then the other fight with McCaffrey, I was super impressed by him. Just his poise. Although this comes with experience. I felt like there were times when if he just put a little more pressure on Elijah, something could have happened, or maybe he could have found a finish there. I don't know that.
He definitely had the advantage when they were standing.
Yeah.
And I think Elijah realized that and didn't really want to engage and kind of, stayed along the fence and looked for his shots. But I think he had Elijah in some trouble that he didn't jump on.
Yeah, but there was something that happened earlier in the fight that was keeping McCaffrey at bay, where he knew that Elijah had it in his bag of tricks, and I think that's why he kept that distance. So that was a fight for me that stood out that I really enjoyed. The other one was for the hometown side and the red corner fighter. It was Craig Perry's bout with Mario Texador, and there are a lot of things about that fight that I really liked. We'd had a lot of conversations with Mario. He fought for us on our second Johnstown card this past summer, and he was coming back for a couple reasons, and so
This guy's from Colorado.
Yes.
He comes in like, I don't get it. Like,
He
it's
drove
weird.
from Colorado.
Like drove from like I've driven to Colorado. That's a long drive. But I mean, there's other places, like that's what I don't understand. There's like other places between here and Colorado
that he could fight.
where you could have
Yeah.
like fights. But I mean, he
wants
really
to fight
showed up
for the best, so it makes sense to me.
Well, I mean,
Can't blame him.
Yeah,
I get it. Like, he had a great time. He found a fight. He had a great time last time. Like, he drove from Colorado. Like, that's crazy.
That's on for me. Like that's on him. Like if he wants to make that drive, I'm more than happy because he, like Jim said, he shows up to fight. Like that's great.
I mean,
Keep
the
fighting for
dude
us.
is game.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
he is game.
yeah. The thing about that fight in particular was he said he wanted somebody tough, and when we sent him Craig Perry, he's like, I said I wanted somebody tough.
Like, oh, you.
And so I was
And
like,
that was just based
Mario,
on record.
Based
Yeah.
on seeing 0-2.
Just
Yeah.
I said we're gonna throw out the his second bout for Craig Perry because it
20
ended,
seconds,
yeah,
broken arm.
Yeah.
right. Yeah, so it's not gonna count. You take a look at his first fight. You're gonna be in a dogfight with this kid. So we sent him the video. He watched. He came back and said, I like challenges. This one looks like it's going to be what you say. So I'm going to take it. And Craig didn't stop. He moved over 0-3, but that's a very, very deceptive 0-3, just like we ran into with Aaron Harper. Out of like he's basically Central PA.
It's a good comparison.
Yeah.
I like that.
But the thing I noticed the most that was the difference in that fight for me as I watched it is Mario showed maturity. And it's the easiest way for me to explain it, that Craig pushed at times and Mario never got frazzled. And I know that's only his third amateur bout, but if he stays on that trajectory and he keeps that maturity level, and adds it to some fight IQ, it's going to take him a long way. But I was really impressed by his maturity in the cage, and so hats off to him. He said, he wanted a tough fight. He acknowledged it in the cage afterwards with his ring interview with Luke, and gave props to Craig. But I was really impressed by Mario. And not just with his physical performance, but in what he said afterwards and the way that he carried himself throughout the whole weekend, really.
Sure, I would totally agree with that. I didn't think that Mario was as good as he is.
He's very good.
And
that's not a knock on him.
Yeah, no, it's not. I'm not saying that I thought he wasn't good. I'm saying I didn't think he was this good.
Right.
Like he's really solid. He's a tough guy. He really wants it, and he'll drive from Colorado to fight.
That's amazing. He was for sure. I mean, you could see improvements from the Johnstown fight to this one. You can tell he's been working a lot in that time. We talk about Craig a lot, and obviously his striking is very good, very fluid. You know, Jim just touched on it, how he looked very good at times. Mario landed some really nice check counter right hooks to kind of keep Craig from really blitzing, just enough, like Jim was saying, just enough to keep him at bay and to keep the, like, really good composure from Mario for sure. And obviously powerful wrestling in that. And also, semi-interesting note, like Mario fought at 155 for us in Johnstown. This fight was at 145, and he was telling me, like, eventually he thinks his frame would be best at 135. He thinks he can even make another 10 down eventually, probably as a pro. He's talking about going pro, and, like, he sees this as a career, and even said in the post-fight interview, like, I'm taking a wrestling-heavy approach. I want the easiest way to win until I start getting paid. Like, there's no sense in me risking getting knocked out right now when I'm not even getting paid. So he thinks, like, he has a lot left to show, too. Which is exciting.
That's
I like
great.
that.
I mean,
yeah.
It's always, it's always a tough call when someone's coming from an unknown gym or like a gym where there's no other pros or, no like big long list of
especially for us, like on the other side of the country.
On the other side of the country. And so, the first time we brought him in, it was like, okay, we'll give you a shot here. Like, why would you want to come into Pittsburgh? Like, why would you want to come this far? And then you kind of learn that he has some family and, like, that's close.
He told me he just really heard good things about Johnstown, Pennsylvania, and couldn't wait to visit.
No, he said Lucille's.
Oh, no. Poor Mario. That was an unintentional.
Oh, no, I didn't mean it like that. I was more making fun of.
No,
but that's,
I know.
Yeah.
I got you. I just had to call you out. But I'm glad, Jim. Honestly, I thought you were going to take the fight that I was going to take as my favorite amateur fight.
I think we were leaving it.
That was nice. I appreciate that. Glenn, or is this who you thought I was going to take?
No.
Okay, yeah. Glenn Christner and Billy Myers, debut middleweights. Dude, first off, these guys are tanks.
They're jacked.
Like, look at their weigh-in photo. Like, when you see debut amateurs, and I know, like in MMA especially, the way you're built doesn't determine everything. But when you take your shirt off at weigh-ins and you're just jacked, like, it does say something. And both of these guys were shredded and jacked, just big dudes, big physically strong dudes. And Billy, early with the wrestling, he's a really good wrestler, Fox Chapel High School and then York College, really good wrestler. Kind of took it to Glenn early, and Glenn, like, early in the second round, man, I thought he was toast. Like, he looked like he could barely stay, like fatigue, adrenaline dump, classic, like, first time fighting things. But he flipped a switch, man, and he was like a zombie the rest of that fight. Like, dude, just winging haymakers and eating haymakers. Those dudes beat the crap out of each other.
Yeah.
Slobber knocker.
Yeah, neither guy would fall down. And Billy was telling me after the fight, he's like, dude, he hit me right on the ear so many times. Like, my ear hurts so bad right now. He kept clipping me right on the ear. And Glenn needed stitches. Like, his face was all jacked up too. They were wearing it. That was an awesome fight.
What's funny, there's so many lighter weight guys. Like, we have so many, like, 135 to 155s. And so when we have, like, 185s, like, they felt like heavyweights in there.
Yeah.
They felt so huge because, like, a large majority of our fights are at the lighter weights here in Pittsburgh. We don't have a ton of heavyweights and 205ers and 185ers.
No,
so
they move on to play football.
True.
Well, and in all honesty, like I would love to see more bigger weight guys here.
Yeah.
We have Flannery, we have Pippins, but we have a limited amount of. So this whole card outside of that fight was all smaller guys.
Yeah. The 185 was the heaviest fight.
Yeah, and so when they were in there, they looked
giant.
Not only were they jacked, but they were also 135, 145ers, and now there's these 185ers that are cutting 20 pounds to get there. They looked huge, and so seeing the big boys in there going at it, like those two were swinging leather.
Tough. Yeah, they were tough. We knew, both of them would be super tough. Glenn, is kind of like a power lifter, works out constantly. Billy Myers, obviously, like we said, strong wrestling base. I expected good things from both of them, and they showed it. I would be more than happy to get both of them back in there.
Well, look who was in Billy's corner. You're talking about strong wrestling base. Who, he couldn't have picked a better one from this area.
From the Math Factory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chris Dempsey.
The Big Demps.
Who's that?
The Dempsey.
Oh, the
Dempsey.
No, it's the Demps.
Big Demps.
The
Big Demps 2 on Instagram. Go follow him.
Les Big Den.
Did you just turn him French?
Yeah.
Les Big Dem.
Les Big Demps.
That's beautiful.
I thought you were gonna Baraka.
Yeah, after I said it.
Well, yeah, that's a given. Come on.
I mean, that was insane.
That's got to be for all of us.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so folks, if you haven't had a chance to see,
You have to.
Joe LaRocca is a cult icon.
Yeah.
I mean,
Say it. It's true.
I love him. I don't know if he's. I don't know. I'm just infatuated. Like he's makes me speechless.
So he's like Forrest Gump when he just takes off and starts running across the United States. Everybody just wants to be around him, and like Joe Dirt when he's on the radio show being interviewed, and nobody can like break away from that radio broadcast because they want to hear everything that's going on.
It's
This is his personality.
He's such a unique. Like there's just something special. Okay, to put it in perspective, there were a couple people probably that knew him in the arena, and by the end of it, like he was being interviewed and everyone loved him. He just has this special something, and I can't describe it.
He's magnetic. He just is. He has such a charm about him.
Yes.
Yeah, super lovable guy. And I
this
found
is
out
an
today.
MMA show.
Yeah.
When we're talking about,
I just love him. I want to give him a teddy bear.
Walked out to Tom Jones. It's not unusual. Like, that's hilarious, first of all.
yes,
Wearing a Golden Girls shirt.
Well, that was his walkout shirt. Was Golden Girls. Like, how awesome!
Did we
can you
make
be?
a shirt for him?
I don't even.
We got to make one with the Golden Girls.
We're gonna
put
we
him
have
in,
to.
like Photoshop him in as one.
Him as one, like
As
it,
one
or
of the
give.
Golden
Give all
Girls.
the Golden Girls his mullet.
Mullet. Oh, yeah.
Oh yes,
His mullet is so glorious.
Dude.
Like Paul, our photographer Paul, took the best picture of a mullet in human history. Like, you
Yes.
got to go to our Facebook or Instagram. We posted it already. Joe LaRocca's mullet swinging in the wind as he throws a hook. Like, it's the best picture of a mullet in existence. Yeah, Joe, if you guys, like, seriously, go watch the stream and just go watch Joe LaRocca's fight, stream247live.com. That's where you watch it. The replay's up now, but go watch it just for him, if nothing else. Like, if you haven't seen Joe LaRocca yet, you have to.
I'm pulling.
He
up.
set a record.
I'm pulling.
Was
up.
Yeah, we have to
picture.
acknowledge that.
Does that tie the record?
No, that is the record.
Was it not 9?
So technically, it was. We have the prior to Saturday night's event, the fastest finish was 18 seconds.
I thought Flannery was 9 against Sheldon.
Yeah, it
Well,
was,
was that the official?
and it was 12
Yeah.
with Kraus too.
No, Kraus was saying 12, but I think the official time was 16 or 18 seconds. And
That
then I
is
think-
right. Yeah. Krause's, for some reason, the official time was kind of jacked up.
Can we get this on camera?
Yeah.
Is
I haven't
this-
seen that yet.
Yeah, try to cast it to the
Look
TV.
at that.
Is that
Danny, go to our Instagram and pull up the LaRocca photo and then cast that tab to the TV, maybe. See if that works.
So if we were able to get a time clip on that from the
So good.
that's
from the
actually-
fight, that's
I
probably
think
like
that's the-
7.7
I think that's
seconds.
The punch. I think that's the punch.
It could be.
It looks to
Well, I think it was a right that sealed the deal. Is he throwing a left or a
That's a
right?
left.
Yeah, I think it was a right.
really.
Pretty sure, yeah. I don't know. I'd have to re-see it. At any rate, it was a 9-second fight. There weren't too many.
Right.
It was it was shockingly like it was. There's times where you're like, don't blink. This
Yeah,
could
yeah.
be that. This was
That
not.
wasn't
That was
the
not
don't
the
blink
radar.
fight. Yeah, right.
Danny, look it up and see what Flannery's finish was and Krause's, because we had two. One was 18 seconds, and that was who was it? The 18 seconds on Saturday night was a finish. But that
There
Flannery
it
was
is.
9 seconds as well.
okay,
And
Look at that.
When he beat Vanderhoff, it was 16 seconds.
16
So
seconds.
Look at his mullet flowing in the wind. I love it. I love that so much. Didn't Jeff Mangine, what's the pit wrestler? Didn't he have a super 10-second knockout for you guys? I didn't see that fight.
Jeff who?
I don't know. I'll say his last name.
don't think-
Mangine. Jeff
Magan.
Mangin.
That's not even close. We should
he
just
talking
talk.
about-
We should just talk for the rest of the podcast about how he just butchered that name that bad.
Oh, Magan.
Jeff Magan.
See, I wasn't
Magan.
involved then. You can't blame me. I've
Yeah.
only seen
Mangine.
tails.
Well, and the funny thing is,
Mangine. Mangy.
the funny thing is, I think Jeff Magan's name is Geoff.
Yeah.
GEOFF,
And so,
yeah.
when I hear Jeff, I think of the JEF, and that never
Threw
even
you
crossed
off, yeah.
my mind.
Yeah, threw you up. But didn't he have a 10-second? Something crazy like that?
It was an early finish. I think it was
Yeah, that was the old no touch trick.
16 between 16 seconds and mid 20s, maybe something like that. Danny, it's another one for you to look up. Jeff Magan,
I can look it up right here.
GEOFF.
I'll give you one more and the only reason I know these is because when I was setting up the Stream 247 live libraries and I created a little free section of the fights that lasted less than 30 seconds.
Magan was 16.
There you
16.
go. What about Damon Morosco?
That was
He got one on
think that
Marcus
was like
Williamson.
10.
that's the one time I thought that it shouldn't have been stopped when it was.
Yeah.
That was 10.
So yeah, 9 is the record, and it's held by LaRocca and Flannery. Is that correct? Did you confirm,
What
Danny
was,
Palm?
Confirmed.
Confirmed.
Hi guys. Hi friends.
Confirmed, people.
Hi people.
Hello, people.
There it is.
Hello, people,
We're definitely
my old
making
friends.
that Danny Palm
He's
Hello
the one
People
responsible
shirt.
for making us sound good.
Dude, Danny Palm's a legend back there on the mixer.
Legend.
Hello people.
Oh, also, we're working on a new, if you watched our first podcast, and we recorded one with Dalton that unfortunately was using the old software as well, but we're using a different software for this one, so let us know if the audio sounds better. We're very picky about this. Hopefully
Well,
it
I mean,
sounds better.
we'll be
We'll know.
listening to it too.
I'm encouraging comments, Ryan.
Comments.
Comment, like, and subscribe.
If you like and subscribe the podcast. Hey guys, listen, there's Brawl in the Burgh 14 coming up too, by the
Dude.
way. Bro,
Oh my goodness.
we got fights. Let me just tell you. We
Bro.
got fights.
Bro, break a second fight. We haven't given anybody anything
Wait,
other
we didn't
than
do a second fight today?
I've been here since 2. No, I haven't done it since I've been here.
Bro.
Give the people, Ryan or Jim, who wants to do it?
I mean,
I know the fight I want to break, though, is the thing. And I think you
I know
do
the
too.
fight I want to break.
Yeah.
Is it? I think it's the same fight, right?
Yeah, I think so. So, Brawl in the Burgh 14, guys, is like very limited availabilities left. We have a card that is full enough, for sure. We have, 11 fights right now, fully signed books. That's a good card. We can go up to 14. So if you guys still want on the card, there are spaces available, but they're limited. The offerings are definitely limited. But if you want on, let us know, because this card, it's a banger. We got Kama and Josh Roller, the main event that we've talked about. And now.
This main event. No, I want to talk about this main event first.
yeah.
Guys, Kama Worthy and Josh Roller. This is a blockbuster fight. This is a mass. What is that?
When something's real good, I want to just grunt into the mic.
This is a massive fight, guys. Like, okay, there's some history. There's a little bit of like animosity potentially with like John DeJesus.
Oh, yeah, true.
And the academy and Roller and his team. I think there was some. We're gonna have to dig into that to see. I feel like I remember. I wasn't there. But I feel like I remember hearing about some like talk, like
That's cool.
like not good vibes. So we're gonna find out about all that when we interview them. But these two are gonna go at it. These two are. It's a crash course. This fight
Had to happen.
As a matter of fact, the Ohio guru of MMA, like, there's no question that why is
Dave.
Dave McKinney.
Oh no, McKinney.
Dave McKinney is like the encyclopedia of regional MMA in general, but also of like, just Ohio MMA
Everything
and
Ohio.
like this, our particular region's MMA.
Yeah.
When he saw that fight announcement, that's when I realized, like, this is huge. He was like, holy cow, like this.
I think he said holy cannoli.
I thought you brought that back.
I did, but
Did he really say holy
no,
cannoli?
he did.
What did he say?
He said
Holy smokes.
holy smokes. That's what he said.
Yeah,
You're
okay.
right. Holy smokes.
Yeah.
That's
so
fun. A lot of
so
holy stuff.
This card, and I'm looking at the secret sheet here.
Yeah, the camera.
Yeah, I was like, okay. I'm looking at the secret sheet here of all the matchups because I'm not very involved with matching anymore. I've tried to like step back and let it be Mr. Jim Mooney's territory and stay out as much as possible.
Yeah. And it's
But
working.
when you're a control freak, like it's hard.
Not you.
Okay, are we
Do it.
ready?
Do it.
The second bout we want to. I'm wondering if it's the same.
I
bout.
bet it is.
Okay,
Advanced amateur.
coming in for his second time with the promotion, we have Austin Martinez.
Yeah.
He first fought Edwin Vera, I believe, right?
Yep. Correct.
And he's returning. He is bringing his 5-5 record from Michigan, and he is facing off against Washington, Pennsylvania's own Miguel Francisco, ladies and gentlemen.
Hit that applause button, Danny Palm. Isn't there an applause button?
Ladies and
There it is. Yep. Those are the tens of people that are actually here
Listen
in
to
studio.
in studio.
Watching, yeah.
Woo!
Thank you, people.
So Miguel Francisco
people.
has he really wanted on the last
Yeah.
card we had.
Big time.
He ended up taking a boxing bout, which was a week before our bout, which we said we can't schedule.
Way too
you.
risky. Yep.
So now he's finally got a chance to fight in his hometown. I expect there to be a huge crowd behind him at the Meadows Casino, racetrack and casino, at the event center there, and I expect to hear nothing but madness when his name is called.
I hope that I'm not going to put some sort of dark cloud over this, but I looked back at just my conversations with Miguel, and there were 3 prior events that we had where I had him matched, and then he got injured, and they kept him out for enough time that you knew that he was.
Wow, you're just like the worst human being ever.
So I actually told him, I was like, Miguel, I can't match you anymore because every time we talk, you get injured. So
Maybe you're hurtful, Jim. Maybe you
Please.
are just
Yeah.
that hurtful.
Miguel, please wrap yourself in bubble wrap from now until October 22nd.
We'll call you Bubble Boy. Bubble Boy Miguel.
But dude, I'll tell you what's so exciting. Besides, it's a great matchup. Yes, Miguel is, from what I've heard, he's one of the most talented guys in the Pittsburgh region. When you're talking just pure skill based grappling and striking, he's an insanely talented fighter. And like you said, he hasn't fought for us. We haven't really seen him up close yet. So I'm really excited to see what he can do. But from everything I've heard, he's a guy to watch in the future
No, I promoted one of his fights
for Pinnacle.
For Pinnacle.
Yeah.
So I did get to see him. It was
did.
his debut. I think
Oh, okay.
he it was a tough fight. I think he came out on the short end. And I think that this was years ago. I mean, this is 5 years ago. So I'm sure he's a much more advanced fighter. But he's known for his striking. And so I'm excited to see what he literally trains. I think his home gym is called Every Gym in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, it's called Western Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I don't think there's a gym that he doesn't spend time at in this whole area. So
I remember I did see him fight at the Made Men show at the Rivers. And I remember telling you guys right then, like I messaged you both on Slack. And this was like, for context, it was like right after I started as GM. So I was rusty on the PA MMA scene, honestly. Like I didn't know a lot of faces. A lot of the guys that I knew from before weren't around or changed, whatever. I didn't really know Miguel at all. I remember messaging you guys after Miguel's fight, and I was like, dude, this kid's good. Like whoever we need to get him on a card. He looked good standing, looked good grappling, like he's very good. So I remember being impressed by him there. I'm excited. I'm really excited to see him.
he's excited. If Hunter's
I'm excited.
This is Hunter Homistek. If Hunter Homistek is excited about you, then
You guys show up.
Is that how you pronounce your last name?
You're either
Homistek.
Homistek.
Yep, that is the proper pronunciation.
Yeah, Homistek.
There it is.
Homistek is wrong. It's actually Homistek. It's like the
love
steak you eat when you're like with your boys.
Yeah, the best kind of steak.
Okay.
Is there a better steak?
There's like
than
a
steak with your
Wagyu,
boys?
and then there's
Come
a
on.
Homistek.
Homie steak. Danny Palm, what's your favorite kind of steak? Putting you on the spot.
A5 Wagyu.
Oh, look at this bougie guy.
Hey, listen, he didn't know the correct answer was Homistek, bro.
A5. Nice. That's beautiful.
I like that. Yeah.
Well, guys, I think we have officially wrapped up Brawl in the Burgh 13 for sure. Previewed
sure.
Brawl in the Burgh 14.
For sure.
Is there anything either of you fine gentlemen would like to add?
Yeah, I want to add a little teaser. I'm not looking past 14, but there's gonna be something special happening for December 17th. That card.
Dun, 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 dun.
Any sound effects for that? Something special.
Something creepy, something like
happening.
spooky,
You got to
For
know
December
these, bro. You
17th.
got to know the sounds.
something exciting sound.
You should have seen him hit it too. He's like this.
Well, that was him. That wasn't actually a sound effect. That
Yeah,
was
he
him
was actually
playing
hitting the drums.
We do have a mini drum kit back there.
Yeah, just a little teaser. That's all I wanted to put out there.
December 17th.
Well, that's like kind of a teaser to me too, because
Yeah.
I don't know anything.
back at the Monroeville Convention Center. So Ryan said it, but to reinforce, October 22nd is going to be at the Hollywood Casino at the Meadows in Washington, PA. Those tickets are on sale right now. So
Right now.
Kama's fight, duh. Miguel's fight, double duh.
By
Just
the way,
buy the tickets.
just so you all know, first row has sold out.
I didn't even know that.
Second row is getting a little like it. This will sell out. We're announcing fights this week. We've announced one fight, and we're look at tickets are gone from one fight. Like jump on that your chance to get tickets right now. This is I don't know if you weren't there the last show. If you were there, you realize this is a totally different environment and atmosphere, and it's something really special. It is fire in there.
Yeah.
And that's not like just
It's
the
not
smoke.
on fire.
It's-
Yeah.
It's sort of like that underground MMA feel to it.
Sure.
You know?
It like the atmosphere, the crowd, it was just off the hook, and that was without Kama Worthy versus Josh Roller. That was without Miguel Francisco,
Yeah.
who is literally lives like a mile from the Meadows. Like these two plus guys, I'm just going to tell you some of the names of the people that are on this card. I'm not
snap.
going to announce matchups, but listen,
He's going for it.
we got Tom Kaiser coming back. We got Josh Visoki. We got Lucas Siebert, Tony Welsh. These are all guys that are on this card. It's going to be fantastic. Monte Barnes is on the card. We got it's going to be special. Damone Hawkins is on the card. It is going to be something else, guys. Incredible card. Get your tickets now. You don't need to know the matchups yet. We're going to be announcing them all week. If you want to wait, that's fine, but you're going to miss out on the best tickets. Get them now.
I can't think of anything else to add. Ryan, you just said it all. That card is fire. Like the names you just said, insane. Insane.
In the membrane.
And really good matchups on all those, let me add.
I hope Cleveland shows up in support of their guy.
I mean, you gots to. You gots to.
Cleveland got two. Is Damone's kind of from Cleveland too, isn't he? Yeah, so Cleveland and
But they're from different
right,
camps.
different gyms. But yeah, so we've got a strong PA versus Ohio feel going on there, which is fun. So that's awesome. But yeah, I mean, Brawlenberg 14. It's going to be sick. Brawlenberg 13 was sick. Brawlenberg 15, December 17th, shaping up to be pretty sick. A lot of sick things happening here.
Brawlenberg 16 to be determined. We're working on that as we speak.
Nice. That's news to me.
I know. Because
Sweet.
we don't keep you just like I butt
don't?
just
Yeah.
like I butt out of matching, we butt you out of
I match and say, I got a bout for you. I'll tell you when you're fighting.
it's like that. Like we're like the UFC. Like we've matched you and we're just waiting to tell you what date it is.
Here it is.
Cool.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
Danny Palm.
See you
for
next time.
president.
Danny Palm for president.
Danny Palm.
His slogan, hello, people.
Hola.
See you later, people.
Personas.
Personas.
There it is.
La gente.